Hello, this is the presentation of a final project for marketing management at Harvard Extension School. So basically, we're going to be discussing the business choice, why the group, reasons for the decision, the company overview that we chose, the market condition, the location in Cambridge, some analysis on locations, market strategy, and final words. So basically the group initially had some ideas, 4 ideas. One is the book delivered startup, somebody came with a capsule hotel, and somebody else came underground bike storage. But finally we decided to go with the grocery market. Why? Because it's meaningful and the market size is there. So everybody does grocery, right? So, and it's confirmed by the presence in the GDP, 3.15%. Also, there are many players, so it means that we could study these many competitions and different market strategy. And what's going on in the grocery store segment is that that there are new trends, shifts, like eating organic and healthy and e-grocery. So we came up, we had to choose a brand, right? So we came up with Aldi. And when you thought about Aldi, the one-liner idea that came to our mind was healthy food, like in a farm, healthy and fresh food, and with affordable prices. That's why you have this plate with some cash on it. And by the way, this was our one slide deliverable that we uploaded to Canvas a few months ago. So, but what is Aldi? Aldi is basically, as we said, it's a grocery chain. Yeah. So a little bit of history and present of Aldi. Aldi is divided into Aldi North and Aldi South. It was founded in Germany in 1913. So you see, it's not a new entrant. It's a long-standing company. In Europe, it's present in more than 14 countries. Aldi North and South, of course, and there are many stores and it's a lot of sales, 64 billion in sales. It's a considerable company. In the West, it's since 1979, more than 35 states and growing, and 1,600 stores. Okay, it's in Oceania as well, in Australia. Okay, let's take a look at the overview of the West market. What's going on with Aldi in the West? Basically, the company is going crazy. It's growing like non-stop. It doubled in size over the past decade, and it plans to reach more than 2,000 stores by the end of this year. It's strategically located, the headquarters in Batavia, right? Because it has access to, one of the reasons is because it has access to transportation and farms. If you're not from the West, the main hub of railroads, the intersection of railroads, it's around Chicago area in Illinois. Also here in the West, Aldi North detains the Trader Joe's supermarket. So we're not going to see like in Europe the Aldi North, but you will see the Trader Joe mark everywhere, especially in California. So this is important to know because later on we're going to see that we're going to try one of the strategy of placing Aldi stores needs to consider where Trader Joe's stores are. Okay, so here we have an overview of the company. So where the company is situated, what the divisions of the company. So where all the blues here, it's where there are Aldi presence. So as you see, there are plenty of spaces to grow, especially on the West. But the company is growing more on the East side. Okay, company overview, the strategy. Basically, how Aldi does to sell product cheap with high quality. Basically, they do volume purchasing. They focus on the most commonly purchased grocery stores. They have no frills, like you're not going to see many options in Aldi. You're going to see most of the essentials. And they pass this sizable discounts to consumers. Also, one strategy is to have exclusive brand. They prime for quality. So the more than 90% are exclusive Audi own brand. And the products needs to be better or equal the national brands, the recognizable high quality national brands. And they have something that that if the customer is not satisfied, they refund the money to the customer 100%. They have no hidden costs. What does it mean? Does it mean that they avoid of non-essentials like banking? Here in the West, it's common, like a lot of supermarkets like Walmart, they have a banking, pharmacies, they have everything. So it's called all-purpose store, grocery store. So Audi avoid that. And another strategy that Audi does, the way they basically market their products, they reach the customer, it's through weekly special offering. We're going to discuss more about that. So basically the exclusive brands and awards that I mentioned before. So basically Audi has 90% of its own private label. They test most of their food on their own kitchen. So to guarantee that they are offering high quality products to the consumers. And the proof of that, of the way they prove the quality, that they have high quality, is that they keep winning awards, industry awards, almost every year. One thing that I talked about, weekly specials. So weekly, every store and location within the stores, they announce, and online as well, they announce their weekly coming specials. And it's a very lowered price than compared to competition. So basically here is the typical store layout. So as you see, Audi, the average US grocery store is 45,000 square feet, and Audi average is 15,000. So basically here we have like most of the essentials like pantry, households, coffee. So see, they have no frills. It's you take it and go. You take whatever you need, right? Buy high quality products, and you're ready to go. And here it's again. So how is it? Some pictures just to show how it's inside Audi. It's mostly essentials products, no frills, few aisles. So and of course few choices as well. And another way that they keep the price low up, it's they do box stacking for easy pickup and checkout and replenishment, which means reduced operational cost, which means that they can lower their cost, they can lower their price. And of course, lately they're keeping an eye on what's going on the market with home delivery, like Amazon Fresh. Amazon is a big entrant in the market with the purchase of a chain store. We're going to talk later. So basically, Audi partner with Instant Car to do their delivery as well, home delivery as well, on the same day. Okay, how Audi is situated in the US market? Basically, Audi has 1.7% of the US market share. So it's not bad. Okay, some demographics of Audi. Here it's important just to notice, like just to have a synopsis how the demographics of Audi are. So you see that most of the shoppers come from 25 to 65. So it's a whole range, and a lot of the shoppers are Caucasians, right? It makes sense because they come from Europe. So most of their products targeted the Europeans or Caucasians consumers, and they have like from low to high income. And look at that, like they have a high education. It's highly educated, the people that usually buy that at Audi. Okay, so now let's jump into straight to Cambridge. What's going on in Cambridge here? So here it gives a synopsis. With this map, it gives a synopsis. What's going on in Cambridge? What are the stores, the main chains that are catering Cambridge? Basically, we have 5 Star Market. Yeah, have 2 Targets, 2 Trader Joe's, one located here, another on the north. So this is important to keep in mind, because when you decide to the locations where to put Audi to have with a new store, you need to try to avoid, or at least study better, these areas close to Trader Joe's. And for Whole Foods already mentioned, and a dozen of local stores. And here most of the chains, that's important to know, are situated along the Cambridge port, mid-Cambridge, and Cambridge Highlands. So few submarket competitions to Aldi, except that we're going to study right now. It's not here in the map. Market basket. This it's important. It is located at close to Harvard University. And basically, this store is very popular because it offers low price. They are a chain as well. They're mainly on the East Coast. They have 79 stores. They average low quality items, but they're very, very low price. So it's very popular in Cambridge, and not many labor products. So this is one store that that we studied to see what's the market strategy. Based on the market strategy, it's the traditional old school grocery stores. Okay, some of the big names. So we have Whole Foods. Obviously, if you're not from the West, Whole Foods, Amazon bought Whole Foods last year. So when it makes strides with Whole Foods, it's trying to figure out what to do with the Whole Foods, right? But so everybody, but it's already, so we already see some synergies happening, like selling online a lot of products. And also because Whole Foods, it's for high income usually. They have also the brand, the supermarket chain 365. So here's some synopsis of Whole Foods. The emphasis on organic and natural food, exclusive brands, target high income customers, and it's all-purpose store. You're going to see everything in Whole Foods. And also in Cambridge, you have the Star Market. The Star Market, it belongs to the Albertson Group. Albertson Group is a gigantic conglomerate of stores. Just to give an idea, they have Safeway on the west side, where I am here right now. They have the Kroger and the Publix as well. So that's why the reason I couldn't find the Kroger. Kroger is a popular chain here in the West, and I couldn't find it in Cambridge. That's the reason, because it's represented by Star Market. So it's all-purpose grocery. It's a big conglomerate, so volume is there. Strong presence in the West, and target low to high income customers. So they don't have a specific income targeted customers, and it's all-purpose store. So they have pharmacy and banking, and a lot of times as well Starbucks. Walmart. Well, we didn't do an analysis on Walmart because it's very far away. It's 12 miles north of Cambridge and 40 minutes away from Cambridge. Costco, we paid attention to this. It's not in Cambridge, it's in Everett, but it's very close, 24 minutes away. But it doesn't compete directly with Aldi. Okay, so now we did some analysis on the demographics in Cambridge. So what do you see in Cambridge? So the population, it's 108, almost 109, right? The density is not so high, right? 17,000. It's not so low either. But what call our attention is the so it's wrong here. Is the poverty level is 14%, right? It's 14% the poverty level. So it means that it might mean that people are sensitive to price levels, to food price level. Understand? So one thing is important. Despite it as a 108, the Cambridge belongs to the Great Boston area. So more than 131,311 people work around, approximately working in Cambridge. So, and these are people that consume, right? Because for these 108 are people that are children, that they don't have income. But here, mostly these people here are people that consume, and most probably consume groceries, or they buy groceries. Okay, the cost of living in Cambridge. We analyze that as well. So you see Cambridge, the cost of living is F, according to this website here in this analysis. So it means that Cambridge is very expensive. And the groceries, if you see, it's more expensive than national average. Right? So just give an example here. So fried chicken is 11.9% more expensive in Cambridge than the national average. Potatoes that people consume a lot is 23.9%. So it's very expensive. Food in general, it's expensive in Cambridge. So here's a price research that the group did, that the team did, right, themselves. So basically, discount groceries with presence in Cambridge, you have Aldi as a reference, Star Market, and Trader Joe. So, and you have outside Cambridge, Kroger and Walmart. We try to take stores that are closest as possible to Cambridge. So we took like all these 20 product items, and we got to the conclusion that Aldi is cheaper 11.8% than Star Market through this basket of products, 22.5% in Trader Joe, 24.4% than Kroger, and 12.6% than Walmart. Okay, so what does that mean? All these demographics and price mean? It means that high price is positive for Aldi in Cambridge. So price is an entry market factor in Cambridge for Aldi. So it's good. So Aldi can take advantage of that. Okay, so now we go to the location, what analysis that we did for location. So we have general criteria for Aldi new stores. Basically, we took from their website. So they try to avoid locations where there's already an Aldi store. They avoid locations where a Trader Joe's is present. Does that mean that we're now never going to have like an Aldi store close to Trader Joe's? No. For example, in California, where the population density is there, we have many cases that the Trader Joe's and Aldi are close to each other, like less than a mile. The space required that on the website, if you go to Aldi's website, it's more or less 22,000 square feet they require. It can be less. As you saw, it's 15. The average is 15,000. They want dedicated parking space for more than 95 cars minimum. Signalized and full access to intersection preferred. Dense trade area population within 3 miles. Sites located in community. Basically, they want sites close to shopping districts. Sites zoomed to allow a grocery use. Basic these rules and regulations, and we're going to take a brief look at that in Cambridge. How is it? Daily traffic, more than 20,000 vehicles per day. So in Cambridge, they have plenty of that. Okay, so here we take a look at Cambridge itself. Basically, Cambridge is divided into 13 neighborhoods. I'm not going to go through all that, but you can see from 1 to 13, right? And here we take a look again at the grocery and shopping districts, because that's one of the requirements. That's one of the requisites for or let's say the wish list for Aldi. So as you can see, most of the groceries are close to shopping district. See? Okay, so here we went to the city web page and to take this map and to take a look at this. So this is a map of the zoning ordinance of Cambridge. Basically, the one that we would like to pay attention here, it's the pink one, as in B1. So you see, we have some, but not a lot. So that's the most propense place to have a supermarket, to have a grocery store. It doesn't mean that it cannot be somewhere else. No, it doesn't mean that. But most of the licensing to have a grocery store are around this place. Okay, so we did an analysis about the east and the northeast to have as an option for Aldi, to have an Aldi in Cambridge. But basically, we came to a wall, or we came to a conclusion that it's not recommended, because there is already an Aldi store in Medford City, more or less 3.5 miles, right? So it's not so far from the east and northeast. So as you saw, there are 2 Trader Joe's in Cambridge itself. So the conclusion that we got is zone 5, 7, 9, and 12. You need to be very careful. You need to study very well with the density, the population, the customers, if it's not gonna impact Trader Joe, if you're not gonna compete, right? We're not gonna compete with yourself. It's like shooting your own foot. So, and here basically like, so it doesn't mean that we cannot have an Aldi store close to Trader Joe, but it means that study needs to be studied very carefully. And we did this analysis. For example, we did a comparison here of Aldi and Trader Joe. Basically, Aldi, what's the difference? Like they're kind of similar, like similar concept, but they have some difference. For example, Aldi, they have fast cashiers, and the Trader Joe's is chatty cashiers. I don't know if you're not from the West, but if you are and you have been to Trader Joe's, you're going to see that whenever you pass through a cashier, they're going to say, hey, how are you? You're going to start talking about your life, how you're doing today, this kind of stuff. And they'll try to make you feel good. Bags in Aldi, bring your own or buy them for 10 cents. So they want to save money. They don't want to cut corners, but they want to save money. It costs the consumers money everywhere. Free in place without a bag taxes. Free samples, no, and there are free samples in the Trader Joe. I usually go to Trader Joe for my free sample of coffee. Fresh prepared foods, no, yes. So they prepare in the supermarket, they don't, so they save money. Aldi saving money through that. Handful of employees, loss of cashiers and stockers. Only the basics, as I already mentioned, and they have Trader Joe have a broad selection of unique and interesting items. Atmosphere clean and inviting, cheerful and fun. And here you have a comparison of product comparison, like prices of Aldi and Trader Joe. So you see, like this was we got from this website, and you see that of all that, Aldi is cheaper, much cheaper on the same items, much cheaper than Trader Joe. 31.42 to 40.36. It's considerably cheaper. So okay, so here we came to an option. We saw right away when you saw this in Cambridge, we saw that the west of Cambridge, the neighborhood west, is not well represented with a supermarket. And we studied why that. Like there's only one Star Market right here on the west, close to the Watertown city, right? And we thought, okay, maybe here it's a good place to come up with an Aldi, right? So because there are a few local grocery options, it's far enough from Trader Joe's, as you can see here, and from Medford, that is on the east side, and there are important intersection traffic volume and close to Watertown. Okay, so here have an overview. I brought it back the map, so we show the pink areas again are the district areas, are the business areas, like on the west side, right? But here's some facts of the neighborhood 10. So the neighborhood is predominantly residential. So here's one thing: the density is very low, just 6,000. It's lower, as you can see, it's lower than the density in Cambridge itself. It's much lower, right? So it's a negative point here to have a store. Maybe that's why they don't have many stores here, but let's take a look at it. The commercial districts are primarily along the edges of the neighborhood, which include the Harvard Square right here, and Square Ponds. They're all here. Fresh Pond, Parkway, Concord Avenue, Huron Village, and Star Market. Two of the Cambridge largest employers are there, which is 10,000 employees, more than 10,000 in Harvard, and Auburn Hospital. It's more than it's around here. Auburn Hospital. It's around 1,700. Okay, so take a look at the neighborhood 10. There was a survey that they did recently in neighborhood 10, and they asked them people where people buy groceries in neighborhood 10. Basically, most of them buy in the Star Market, where I showed 31%. In the Fresh Pond, the whole food market, so it's a little bit north, 30%. There is already like a flag, like Trader Joe's is close to it, so you have to be careful if you're gonna propose that a new Aldi store right there. There's a Porter Square, people buy 8%, and Huron Market and Formaggio 6%. Okay, what people would like to have, they also made this question, that survey. So 17% of the people said that they would like to have a new grocery store, which is positive for Aldi, right? So people want to have a new grocery store on the region. So we took a look, after that we took a look at the commercial real estate outlook. We saw how the real estate looks like in Cambridge, and specifically in the West Cambridge. The rental price range from 15 to 55. Of course, it's more expensive closer you get to Harvard Square, and less expensive when you go west. Unfortunately, there are not many retail options, and not new development that our investigation could find. And residential zoning and rules and regulations are very hard, and the change. We saw some properties that we can change the property use, but the rules and regulations are very restrict. So that's partially explain why we don't see many chains of supermarkets on that west area, right? It's not so dense, and there are some rules and regulations for zoning area. Okay, so we took a look deeply into the business district. So basically we have 5 business districts I already mentioned, and we came here with an analysis. We did a deep analysis on these districts. Basically option 1 right here, so it's the Star Market and Mount Auburn. There are pros. The traffic to Main Street, there are a lot of traffic that comes from Watertown and the Harvard and the Cambridge itself. A lot of intersection, Braddock Street, Aberdeen Avenue, Huron Avenue, and so on. The cons. The zoning district is limited. It's very limited. Just this area here. This very tiny area. And most of it is already occupied by the Star Market. Option 2, right? Fresh Pond. Traffic volume is there. It's very interesting, this area. It would be very ideal, let's say, on this west side, because there is one real estate there, but it's already occupied by Honda. All right, but it's a very ideal. It's a little bit far from Trader's Joe, not so far, but it's a little bit far, and it's intersected by main streets and avenues. Huron Village, it's a very limited area. It's a very limited business area. Traffic volume is there, but there is only one grocery competition. That's a pro there. So that's just one competitor. And again, zoning district is limited. As you see, most of it, the zoning district is limited for residential. Concord Avenue, that's a pro. The traffic volume is there, but the big con is Trader Joe's. It's on the same avenue that leads to Trader Joe. So it's a big concern. And we have Harvard Square downtown. Confluence of people, of course. Number 5, and the business district. There are a lot of business here. The cons is exactly that. It's because it's downtown. You cannot see here, but it's down here. It's downtown. It's expensive, and the zoning restriction. It might be hard to get a permit to install a supermarket. Okay, so what we did it this way. So as it's west, it's a little bit tough to find. We looked into other options. So we around Cambridge. So we found these options here: a Village Street. All these properties that are they empty or they're available in the market to coming into the market, right? So we detail more of them in the report that we produced. And all the locations, so one thing to keep in mind, all the locations are less than 1.6 miles and 6 minutes from Trader Joe's. So it's that one thing that we studied carefully to pick the best decision. Okay? So what we can conclude for location for Aldi? Location analysis, it's a dispositive for Aldi at the current market condition, right? Because as we saw, the demand for retail space is fierce in Cambridge. It's everybody wants to have a grocery store in Cambridge. So it's very fierce, the location, to find a available and proper location. The existing business districts are already taken at the moment, as I already showed. We need to have caution, of course, when the Audi stores, when you think about Audi stores close to Trader Joe, zoning rules and regulations are kind of burdensome for what we could see. The proper change of use is long and costly. So what we should do? The best choice that we have so far is to go with a location too close to Harvard Square, or the 3 other locations outside neighborhood 10. All right. So in our report, we're going to do an analysis with the locations close to Harvard Square and the other 3 locations. Okay, now we jump to marketing strategy. What happens? How Audi does the marketing strategy, right? And how Audi would do if they need to do their marketing strategy in Cambridge, right? It's very standard. So they do over and over. As I said, the company is growing, right? So they have their own marketing strategies. They repeat these over and over. It's a successful method. It's going on. It's very simple. It's amazingly simple. When we were studying that, we got amazed how it's so simple it is, but it's so efficient. So basically, they have the product. Everything starts with the product. They need to have a high quality product. So that's and how they express that through its own brand. And after come price, they fight nails and tooth to have a lower price. Audi is known for lower price and high quality. So they don't compromise quality when they lower their price. Presence. They're expanding everywhere, so they choose very carefully their stores, and that's what we've been doing. And when they open a store, they have a grand opening campaign. And how they reach the customers, how they usually reach the customers, it's traditional. Printed leaflets distributed within the stores or around the stores, and email marketing. So see, it's very simple. So here we could find how it explains their model. It's called AIDA model. So basically they create awareness, where they put their stores, or how they display the store, they display the layout, and they generate interest among the customers and desire to have the products, which leads to the consumer taking action and purchase. It's very simple and effective. They do that in Europe, and they brought the same method since 1913 when they started to the West. Okay, so the pricing strategy. How do they do the market penetration? What they do with their product? They charge lower prices if they want to introduce a new product, so you can enter the market and gain market share quickly. Competitive pricing. They slightly lower price than competition, right? Strategic pricing. They emphasize all the time the quality and their brand. All the time their quality and their brand. They emphasize that. And there's a fact that we could get from the study case that there was. There's a fact that our boss, they buy. How do? How they keep lower price? They buy such large quantity, and this allows economy of scale that allows out to pass these savings to its consumer. That's basically their main strategy on pricing. Okay, again, let's just talk about, because this is part. Let's talk about location, because this is part of their strategy as well. In location, we have the store layout. Basically, they keep it simple. They limit waste. They cut cost and the lowest price possible. That's how they keep their price low. One of the reasons. On the store, how they use the store. Here, location. They have some demand. They have some requisites for location, right? So 30,000 people around population. The position of the store, focus on the edge of the town center, location where visibility, the accessibility of the store and its public transport link, and the number of parking spaces available. In the West is 95, as you can see in the website. Okay, the marketing strategy, advertise. It's very simple but effective. They get it done. So basically, it's weekly leaflets distributed within the store and online, and email marketing. That's it. That's what they do. And the grand opening as well when they have a new opening store. Okay, so here we come to final words, right? So Audi has a strong history of success around Europe. It's around for more than 100 years, so they know what they're doing. They're growing steady fast in the West. Audi main drivers are efficiency, low cost, and private labeling. In Cambridge specifically, groceries high price and it is an entry point for Aldi. There is very little subgroup competition for Aldi, exception for market basket. Exception done, okay? Cambridge is a high cost of living, and it's a justification for Aldi entry consideration. The West Cambridge that that's close to Harvard Square, it's the most, I'd say, most appropriate place it might be to have a new Aldi store. And the survey in West Cambridge points out that the grocery purchase concentrating basically in Star Market and Fresh Pond and Whole Foods, right? And the same survey showed that 17% of West Cambridge people would like to have a new grocery store. Here, the biggest drawback: availability of appropriate location. It's very hard, very expensive to find a new location in Cambridge. Again, Aldi triad, efficiency, lower price, and quality is the competitive advantage that is hard to imitate from the competition. And Aldi relies on, for its market strategy, relies to keep its reputation intact. Lower price without compromised quality. Quality is very, very important. High quality food, high quality grocery is very important for Aldi. And the Aldi marketing strategy is simple but effective. That's it. Synopsis of Aldi. Thank you very much.